About a week ago on June 19th, a very well-known creator on YouTube, more known for his streams, Etika made his I'm sorry video. A video that no one really expected, but everyone was scared to see. In the past year or so, Etika seemed to have been dealing with a mental breakdown, which led many people to either stay by his side and kind of acknowledge it and kind of go with it, or people start to more towards lean, just leaving him alone, people calling him clowns, or people just not associating themselves with him. This act led to what we all know as now the death of Etika Desmond, which many are still mourning now, almost being a week of knowing about his death. I myself was a very big Etika fan, and I actually found out when I was on vacation. For many of you who probably are wondering, why are you making this video now? It's more because I just couldn't. First off, I was on vacation, so I was kind of enjoying my time with family, and also I was heartbroken that somebody that I used to watch on days that I would feel so shitty would go on a stream and somehow make me feel so happy in just like a day. And it sounds cheesy, but people who watched Etika and actually enjoyed his content for now years, I've watched his content since like 2014-ish era. It's been a long time. And people who know Etika will know that Etika will take such a like very boring topic and make it so interesting. Like the Nintendo Directs, they're not really boring, but when you watch them, it's just like, oh yes, let's get excited. But when he went through these Nintendo Directs, he had such a charisma to him, such like a happy vibe, like such a, it's hard to explain, but I used to love watching him, and on the most hardest of days that I used to go through, I used to just binge watch his videos, people's freaking compilations of him. And every time he had a stream, every single time he had a stream, I would instantly go on that video. Now it seems to be no longer. Fuck. It's really hard making this video because I know I'm going to stop a lot because I don't really have a script, but I want to talk more from the heart than anything. But what I really knew Etika from the Pokemon days. I never really kept up with him at that time. I more of got back into it when he did the Smash Bros reactions and stuff. That's kind of when I went right back into him. I knew about him, but I never I guess went into it as much as I probably should have. But he made the Etika World Network, which obviously he planned to do with friends and stuff, for people who don't know the story. And ever since, I've been kind of watching his content very, very frequently. Pretty much almost every stream from then I watched. Very 2016, 2017, even 2018. Those 3 years, I consistently went on every single stream, stood up every single night, every single morning, just to watch an Etika stream and stick with the boys, the Joy-Con boys. And it was probably one of my favorite moments of those years, just watching one of my favorite content creators wild out on a stream. And I just knowing that that'll never happen again, I guess, is very sad. And I know there's a lot of people who would say like, oh, we can no longer get Etika reaction to JoJo or anything. That's not really why I watched Etika. I watched Etika because he was such a funny yet wild guy that you would totally find interest in, because he's so humble and so nice, yet just dealt with so many hidden demons that he never showed just to keep like his image. And clearly the past year or so he was dealing with all these demons that obviously seemed to have eaten him up in the past year, or even less than a year, because after his first kind of crazy moment, just not letting anyone know what's going on, which, to be fair, is his own problem, but I think he lost sight of who he was and what he wanted to be, and that's what happened. Now, people calling him clowns and stuff, I never did that, because it just, if someone clearly is struggling, that's not really the smartest thing to do, especially when you're in such a limelight in front of everyone. Putting such a meme joke that's so fucking edgy is not even funny. I know a lot of people now they've done it and they now regret it, but I never was a part of that. It was just unnecessary. I did have to take some time away from watching Etika in the past like few months, because just watching him suffer with all these like clearly like mental illness things and not helping himself was kind of, as a viewer, it was very irritating and very worrying. And I didn't really want to see a content creator that I used to look up to for such entertainment purposes and for like just enjoyment and happiness, so you go down this rabbit hole of just weird obscurity, whether he believed what he was saying or not, which clearly it shows that he didn't really think, at least in his last video, which I did watch on vacation, and I genuinely got a little teary-eyed, especially because I watched it right after, knowing maybe an hour before that he had ended up dying. But yeah, Etika Desmond Amofa was my favorite YouTube content creator. He was my favorite streamer by all means, and he was more than just someone to watch. He was someone to look up to, someone that could take all these people on a stream and he can entertain them so well, and he could do it so perfectly and create such a good vibe for people. And he cared so much about the people who watched him. He cared about not only the people who had donations, but he cared about his friends and family, which, I mean, a lot of people do, but he really showed he cared about his fans. And I never had a chance to really donate, because more of at the time I didn't exactly have a job that would pay a lot of money. So I had to really conserve my own money. But to show your support, you don't really need to give donations, which even Etika said. Just being on a stream was enough. But Etika Etika inspired me to start streaming on my own, which I did the last year. I used to actually stream, and then when I found out Etika was streaming, I used to end my streams just so I could watch his stream. I think there's an actual like stream clip that I have on my YouTube that I said, oh shit, I gotta actually watch the Etika stream now. And that tells you how much I was so like into Etika, so much like love for Etika, so much for Etika. And I don't think I'm gonna really edit this video. All the stupid little things I have in between are just gonna stay there. Everything's just gonna be from more of the heart, I guess. But Etika inspired me. He inspired my content. He inspired me to continue doing YouTube. He inspired me to try to reach an audience of people, more of through streaming per se, but he inspired me to reach an audience to make their lives maybe a little better than mine, and make such a great time for people to watch my content. But yeah, thank you, Etika. Thank you, Desmond. Rest in peace, Joy-Con boys.